So back today, and I'm going to be working on the explosion box again. So going to be making some flaps for the inside of the box, and I'm going to be starting with a I'm going to be starting with a waterfall, and gotta get my okay, so oops, I guess I shouldn't have put that over there. So the inside of each of the box, I am not going to go any bigger than 6.5 by 4.25. There's my ruler. And so I'm going to keep all of my mats inside that 6.5 by 4.25. I'll just throw that over there for just a minute. So I'm going to do a waterfall. And I'm going to cut my base piece at 6.5. There we go. So, all right, that goes there. Oh my gosh. I've been, I don't know about you guys, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos, and those are just, cut them this way. I've been noticing a lot of people have been doing backdrops. And I was looking online for a backdrop, and I'm going to tell you guys, oh my gosh, they are reasonably priced. The pricing on like the backdrops, because I was going to not replace my mat, but I was just going to, for filming purposes, just have something prettier to look at than my grungy old mat. And yeah, they're reasonably priced. However, they are the shipping on them is crazy. It's insane. Okay, so I'm cutting these at 4.25 tall by 3. I want them by 3.25, but I need to make sure that I have a hinge, so I'm cutting them at 3.75, leaving a 1/2 inch in between each of the mats. So let's see if this one, yep, this one will do 3.75. I'm just using some black cardstock scraps that I already have. 3. And yeah, so that's been my thing, is like I could get one for, less than $10, but when I like go to have it shipped, the shipping is more than the actual piece itself. Let's go with one more. So it's, I'm just like, ugh. If the shipping wasn't so expensive, I would already have one. But, and then, trying to figure out which particular background that I would want to get, that's another struggle. So, okay, let me get my little stylus tool right here. Okay, 3.75. We're going to score 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. So I have a couple of different things planned for the box as far as the flips and things like that. I wasn't super excited to be decorating the sides, but I think it'll make the box just a little bit more. Oops. And previously I've used score tape for this, but the more I think about score tape, I have friends, and I don't know about Brenda, but I have friends in more humid climates, and score tape won't hold very well. So if I use, you know, I don't want to make something and then it falls apart, because that's embarrassing. So that's one of the reasons why I have started using more wet glue, and especially this glue, this art glitter glue. Oh gosh. Oh. Don't want to glue that down. Might be able to cut a few more photo mats. I just want to have lots of space in here for Brenda to be able to put a lot of photos in there. So, yeah. Work this last week was a little bit crazy. I was supposed to actually work, normally I work 4 12s each week, and then this week I was actually scheduled to work 5 12s, and that's because our CPR instructor has limited days available. He is a firefighter paramedic, and so we have, you know, we have to work around kind of what his schedule is. So we had set the date up, and you know, he'd picked the date that he was available, and then on Tuesday he called, and he had hurt his knee somehow. I don't know exactly how he hurt his knee, but he actually, I just found out from him that he had to go get an MRI done, just to kind of see what's going on, because it's swollen and it just looks, something's wrong with it. So he had to go do that. So we had to cancel Friday's class, which did not hurt my feelings in the least, because I don't really like working Fridays, not my favorite. And then so that we got that rescheduled and had to change his class date, and so got that all settled. And then Wednesday morning class is getting ready to start, and our instructor is not there, and which is weird. It's about 9:45 and she's not there, and normally she's there at least between 9:15 and 9:30 is when she normally gets there, and she wasn't there. And then I think I could get two more, and then my phone rings, which is weird because normally, you know, I don't get a lot of calls, you know, especially in the morning time. And hi Blake, what are you doing, buddy? And anyway, so it's actually her husband calling, saying that she has been in a car accident, and she was at the hospital getting checked out. Sorry, the what do you call it? The box was falling. Anyway, so we're like, okay. Anyway, she's okay, and but we had to cancel class. Well, we didn't cancel class for the day. Pat did the lecture for the students, but the demonstrations need to be done by a nurse, and that's why, you know, Caroline, our instructor, she does both, and so she wasn't going to be there, so we had to then dismiss the students for the day, obviously. Later in the day, got a chance to speak with Caroline, and her doctor, for obvious reasons, wanted to make sure that she stayed home and rested for the rest of the day, so she wasn't going to be in class. So same thing with the evening class, took care of them like that, but then we canceled Thursday's class, and so then I already actually had a couple of appointments in the morning scheduled, and I wanted to make sure that I kept those because it's just a good thing to keep appointments. So I went in on Thursday for a few hours, even though I didn't have to, and went to but anyway, so there was a week, sorry, my chair is super squeaky. So there was not this coming week. This coming week I was going to be back to my 12s, my 412s, which I was totally prepared for. And then next week, the week after that, the following week is, I was actually, we were only going to be having class 2 days, Monday and Tuesday of that week, because of the way the schedule had worked out. But now having to reschedule CPR, we already had to add 1 day to that week. And then having to have canceled Thursday's class, we had to add another week. So this last week, when I thought I was going to be working 5 days, I ended up working 3.5. And oh, there they are. And the week that I was thinking that I was going to be working 2 class days and then probably an open registration day, now I'm working 4 class days. So that's kind of a bummer. But that is how the cookie crumbles. Okay, and I'm going to actually secure this, obviously, you guys can see, with the seam binding. Okay. Alright, so I need 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. 15 3x4? Yeah, because I cut them at, because I was accounting, let me just make sure. I was taking, yep, 3x4. Okay, and from all those other things that I already cut, I have a ton of paper ready to go. So I will just start cutting up these scraps before I cut into anything else. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to pick. Which side is which? But this current class has actually been very nice. Haven't had really any crazy stories, not like I have previously. And I guess they haven't really been crazy stories. They've just been like, seriously, let's act like adults, people. Apparently it's sometimes hard to remember to act like an adult. Okay, so I like that better. I don't know. I guess I don't need to hold on to that scrap. Okay. There are just some scraps that I'm not going to use. And I'm going to cut this one first. And then we'll cut this one. So I just finished I wonder if this will, nope. But we can cut it this way. I just finished binding a project, and it was my Tales of You and Me. And I don't know if you guys remember the pages. I mean, I did a late night crafting, but I don't know how many of you who are currently watching this series are, oops, I cut that at 4. I meant to cut that. Wait, yeah, I cut that at 4, so this will be cut at 3. I don't know how many of you who are currently watching watched the series that I did for that. Let's count to see how many photo mats we have. But I finally finished binding it. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Perfect. Okay. So, yeah, I don't know, but I finally finished binding it and putting all the pages together, and it turned out so pretty. I'm so happy with it. I don't know why it took me so long to actually do it, except that I felt like I had a million other things in the works. And so kind of took a back seat to everything else that I was working on. But now it's done, and it is beautiful, and it is probably one of the thicker mini albums that I've bound, but it definitely is beautiful paper, and I want to make more projects with it. So we'll see what happens. I've got other things on tap, not on tap, but on deck to do, and we'll see how far I get with them all. Let's see what else. I need to actually contact Sizzix because my husband got me a Vagabond, and it's never cut right. It's always had issues as far as the actual thickness. Like it's never quite been calibrated right. and it's just frustrated me so badly. And when I originally called after I had taken it out of the box and I was starting to cut with it, the response I got from the gal was not really a pleasant one. And I explained that it was a gift, and she goes, well, you need proof of purchase. And I'm like, it's a gift. Like, you know, that's just, I don't think that's right. I wasn't asking for them to refund my money or anything like that. I was actually just saying, hey, I want to be able to use it. So I would like to, check the calibration on it, or, whatever. I don't know. I even bought a special shim for it, and that shim, it still didn't help. And some people, might be like, well, maybe it's the sandwich that you're using. It really isn't. And how I know that is because even the steel rule dies, the thick dies that that they have, they don't actually fit snugly through there. It should be with the 2 cutting plates and the steel rule die. It's thick and it cuts the paper. Well, my Vagabond, it doesn't cut like that. It's still really loose when I try and send things through. So that's how I know there's something wrong with my calibration, and it's not that I have the sandwiches incorrect. Okay, hang on guys, I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so here we go. Maybe I'll do that one or this one. Okay, I'm happy with this one. So where was I? I don't remember, even though it's been like just a few minutes. Oh well, must not be that important. So let's see. I might have mentioned this already, but I just binge watched a series of Unfortunate Events, and I love that show. It is so cute. I read the books, and so it made me really happy, but now I'm just dying because I want them to come out with season 2. Like, the wait is killing me for season 2. I also have been waiting and waiting and waiting forever. Oh, I could have done the coffee. Aww. Oh well. C'est la vie. For Sherlock to come back, and it's the BBC series, and it is so good. And I just found out that Netflix chose to not pick it up. And I am just very sad. So now I'm going to have to watch it outside of Netflix. But I have been waiting and waiting and waiting for that series to come back. And apparently, I'm going to be waiting longer for it to come back. I've also been catching up on some YouTube and have found myself, as much as there are certain channels that I love, not being able to watch them anymore just because they're going off the deep end. I try and keep my channel pretty neutral as far as, things go. Pretty crafting related and that kind of stuff. Every now and then you guys will see my doggins, and I do talk about my students because otherwise what else would I talk about? That's pretty much what my life is surrounded by. But there have been some YouTubers recently who have just been going off the deep end with the whole election thing. And I'm not going to get into, too much about that because, everyone has the right to have their own opinion, whether you voted for Trump or whether you didn't. It's really, that's a personal thing to everybody. And I'm not saying who's right or who's wrong. We all have our own beliefs and our own, things that and our codes that we stand by. And, you have to be true to yourself. You have to step up and, if you believe in something, that's what you believe in. So, that what's right for you may not be right for me. So I definitely try and not bring that, onto my channel. But there have been several YouTubers recently that I've just had to stop because I just can't, whether or not, people like that Trump was elected president or, don't like that he was elected president. Here's the thing. He's president for the next 4 years. And so instead of losing your mind and, there were so many protests and so much just negative and violent acts yesterday with his inauguration. Regardless of how you personally feel about it, I don't believe that violence and or rioting and things like that are ever appropriate. There are many different ways that you guys can, not you guys, but that people can express displeasure, and try and enact change. I am going into this particular presidency like I've gone into every other presidency with hope and optimism that if he says he's, there are certain points that he said he was going to do. And if those things come to fruition, that is going to be really good for our country. There are things that he said that are not good things, and I hope those things don't come to fruition. But I go into it with, skepticism that, and also optimism, just like every other presidency that, since I was really old enough to understand the full effects of, each person being elected. I hope that, it is a positive experience, and I hope, that things happen and it's, it doesn't go as horribly wrong as, a lot of people are saying that it's going to go, but only time will tell. And that's kind of how I'm going into this particular presidency. I just have noticed that there have been, a lot of posts, for or against and bashing and things like that. And I noticed that my sister posted this one post, and it was this person before Trump was elected. And it was like, no matter what happens, we need to, oh, that's the wrong paper. I'm glad I looked at that. We need to unite and stuff like that. And then the next one was basically just like, F you, this country, blah, 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 blah. And it was totally the opposite of what their previous post had been. And, I was just, it was like, she said, we need to unite. And then the very next post that she did after, the election results came out, was basically just tearing us apart. I just hope that as a country we can be united, we can reunite for the greater good, whether or not, we believe the person who was elected was a good fit for our country or not. I just hope, as people and as a nation, we need to be united. And I'm not saying if you disagree, you just need to fall in line. No, there are certain ways that you can enact change in our country. And I'm pretty much just saying that the people who are out there doing terrible, violent things and destroying property, those people are taking away the credibility of those who are working really hard to do it peacefully and do it the right way. And what I'm saying is I just wish that kind of stuff would stop, because, you know, credibility, there's a lot, you know, credibility means a lot when you're trying to get a point across. So there's that. That's my 2 cents about the whole thing. And yeah, that's as political as I'm gonna get. So there you have it. Let's see. So it's been real quiet around here. There have been apparently I can't count real good. Okay, that's going to be okay. I have to re-ink this one. Apparently I didn't count real good, but I think my inking skills were pretty good. I didn't have to I only had to basically re-ink this one. Let's see, what else? I had the strangest dream last night. And I was on a road trip with my husband, and we were driving along this country road, and there was a train track that ran parallel with the highway, the country road that we were on. And for whatever reason, there was a lot of semis on this road, and they kept these semis kept jumping the train tracks as trains were there. Like, they would literally like jump the train. It was so weird. I was like, oh my gosh, like, it freaked me out. Like, in my dream I was so freaked out. And apparently in this, wherever this dream was taking place, because we pulled over to this like restaurant hotel place. It was just very interesting. And we were getting something to eat there, and we actually had decided in my dream we were going to stay the night. So we go, and they have these diners, and so we were at the diner, and we were going to check in and, you know, get a room for the evening. And so we checked in, and then we went to the diner, and it wasn't like a traditional diner. It was like a restaurant kind of thing. So we go, and we're sitting down, and we're talking to some of the regulars there, because that's what you do apparently in this this dream I was having. And they were telling us, oh yeah, that's totally normal. Like, the trucks don't have time to wait, and so the trains know that, you know, they're going to, you know, the semi trucks will jump them. And apparently the drivers who normally drive on that road, they outfit their trucks so it's they're specially outfitted for jumping trains. I didn't even know that was a thing, but apparently in my dream it is a thing. And so we're sitting there, and being on the road, I wanted to go use the restroom and also wash my hands before we ate. And so they say, okay, well, the restroom is, you know, over there. So I go, and the restroom, it's really interesting. It was like a circus tent. And, oh no, I forgot to put that ribbon in there. Let me see if I can get the ribbon in there still. So in the circus tent, it's like a circus tent in the middle, not in the middle of the restaurant, but it's very carefully. Hopefully I can do this. So they it's part of the building, but it's all outfitted in what do you call it? In curtains and things like that, like the inside. So I was trying to explain this to my husband this morning after I woke up, and he's like, okay, that's just kind of strange. I was like, I know, it's really weird. I don't know how this is something that my brain came up with. So it's like, it's this round room, and all around the outside are like benches and like sinks and vanities. And then, I'm gonna have to cover this up. And so then on, I need a paper towel, and cupboards and things like that. So that's what was on the perimeter of this. Well, you can walk in two different ways to this particular room, and one is basically through the dining room. And if you walk into this place through the dining room, it's basically you're walking in on a stage. Like you have to walk up, and then it's open, and it's got curtains that you close. Anyway, I'm not explaining it super good. And then on the other side, it's like these saloon doors that like flap open and close. So anyway, if you want to use the restroom, you have to do two things, because I forgot to mention to you guys, actually I didn't, I was saving this till last in my dream. All of the toilets were in the center of the room in a circle, because this room is circular. And each of them has their own like curtains around it. So it's like a, you know, just a circular kind of tent around, and you pull the curtains around the toilet when you want to use it. I know, super, super strange, right? So you have to do two things. Well, normal people, I guess, would do two things. One, you would, obviously you would go over to the curtains that opened into the dining room, and you would, you know, close those. But for some reason in the dream, they were open. And, so they were open, and so you'd want to go, you know, shut those. And then, you know, obviously it would give you a little more privacy, but for some crazy reason in my dream, there were people like hanging out in the bathroom. There were a bunch of just regulars just hanging out, like chatting and stuff like that. So I washed my hands, and then in my dream I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to use the restroom right now. I'll wait until we go back to our room that we had rented for the evening. But it was so strange. This, I can't even, I don't even know where my subconscious would have come up with a room like this or anything like that. And it was funny because as I was telling my hubby about this dream, he goes, so you have a fear of peeing? And I'm like, no, I just thought it was really weird that there were, first of all, people were hanging out in the bathroom, just chatting and gossiping. I mean, like sitting on chairs, just like sitting there as if it was like a living room. So that was weird. But then also that it was, the bathroom was almost as if it was like a stage. That, yeah, because you had, like, from the dining room area, you had to walk up a couple of steps. It was so weird. So I just thought that was so strange. Okay, so here is the waterfall. And the waterfall is going to go right here. Okay, so I'm going to install that in just a second, but I wanted to add another layer or two. Okay, all right, so that was measurements for the waterfall. Okay, now 4x6. I have to grab some more black cardstock. Okay. All right, so I got some more black cardstock, and now, oops, I'm going to make It's 4 1/4 tall. Okay. So I need to go 4 3/4 because I want to add about a 3. Actually, we'll do 5. We're going to do a 5" by 6 1/4. So we'll do it by 5 1/2. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to create on one side. I'm going to score 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to score a 1/4 inch because I don't want to squish things. And I'm notorious for squishing things. So it's going to come here, it's going to sit right behind there, just like this. So this is going to get all tied up, okay? And then this little piece right here is going to have a pocket, okay? I think. No, I think I'll do a belly band here. Wait. I'll do a belly band here. And then I will do a pocket, like a fold out, a shaped fold out. So I'll have to prep that off camera. And then I'm going to do, let's see. Okay. So that was by 5 1/2. Okay, so we're going to do 4. That'll sit right in front. And I did, what was this one? By 5. So we'll do 5 1/8. And swap out my scoreboard. So 5 1/8, and I scored this at okay, let me just let me just work this out right in front of me. Okay, 1/4 inch. Okay. So I was right. Okay, so we're going to do 1/2 inch here, and then I did a 1/4 inch here, so we're going to do 3. And hopefully that is enough room to kind of, yeah. I just want to make sure I give myself enough room where I'm not just like that. I want to make sure that I'm giving myself enough room. All right. Okay, so I should write those measurements down. So let's go ahead. So, because I'm going to repeat those several times. So this is, and see, I forget measurements so fast. So 5 1/2 by 5. Score 1/2. And was that 3/4? Yes. Okay. This one was 4 inches. 5 1/8, oop, not 1/2. 5 1/8 score 1/2 and and 7/8. Okay. Now, let me find a little piece of washi, and I'm going to tape it in front of me. So it's right there and I don't lose it. Okay. All right, so that is now taped right in front of my eyeballs. Okay. Now. Hi, baby. What? What? You want to come up? You want to come up? Oh, you need to see? You need to see what's going on? I'm just making... Hi. Hi. Oh, so sweet. Just making some stuff. Yeah? Did you say hi to everybody? You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Hi? Yeah? No, you don't want to? Look. Look. Right here. Look. Hi. Say hi. No, you don't want to say hi? Okay, come on then. Come on. Good girl. And away she goes. All right. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pause this video here, and I will be back in just 1 second because I want to make sure that the breaks are kind of even so I can put the videos together and they don't, you know, go. I'm trying to keep them under an hour this time. So I will be back in just a second, guys.